Hi, hello, it's Wombly here again, and it's been a hectic few months, but I am back to tell you about my #1 suggestion to all those colored ditherers out there, and that is to print these first. So, this is not just for full spectrum users who are using U1s, by the way. This is about full spectrum style slicing. And for the unfamiliar, let's start off by blowing this print up so we can have a closer look at it. This test print was done using only 4 filaments, if you can believe it. And how is that possible to get such a rainbow of colors? Well, to explain that, let's start with a simpler example. And I apologize to my colorblind friends in the audience, but I would ask, what colors do you see here? There's a nice border of a light blue, maybe, with red and green squares in the middle. However, if I were to pinch to zoom and look at this real close under a microscope, what I would find instead is that it is actually made up of, yes, just an outer boundary made up of cyan layers, but in fact that green is alternating layers of yellow and cyan, and that reddish hue is 2 parts magenta to 1 part yellow, so not actually red and green at all. The layering just is made so thin that it can defeat the eye like the pixels on your screen or dots on the ink of a printed photo. Don't believe me? Neither do a lot of people. Alright, I am at OpenSauce. This is Dimitri. You guys might know him from the Snapmaker Facebook group, the Snapmaker community, and this is...
Hey, my name is Layla.
Hello Layla, welcome. And so this is just something we were joking around about on the Snapmaker Facebook group that Dimitri and I wondered if something would really work. So here we are, we have a chunky millimeter layer height CMY square that I just printed last night. And we wondered, is it true? If Dimitri walks away with this, will those layer lines vanish if he gets far enough away? What do you think?
Well, I think it's true, but let's see.
So, stepping back.
Okay. And yeah, now I can see only 3 colors.
What colors is it?
So I see orange, blue, and green.
Yeah, orange, blue, and green. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, so we wondered about this because I had a little demo piece with big thick layers.
People wouldn't believe us that this is how the thing works, and they would doubt what is it, so we had to come up.
Yeah.
Probably came up with this cool, very cool demo,
Yeah,
and we're gonna show it to everybody today.
Yeah, so we're hanging out over at the Snapmaker booth. I'm hanging out talking about full spectrum. Thank you, Layla. What did you think about that?
That's actually amazing because you can tell that it's gonna actually happen, and you think you're gonna keep seeing the lines, but yeah, the further he goes, yeah, it's kind of like an illusion. That is true. It's magic.
Thank you again, Layla.
Cool.
Thank you again, Dimitri. Try to have a little fun there, but at any rate, if you would like to learn more and make yourself a believer, Snapmaker did recently welcome me to share a guest post on their blog with just full of information on my experience testing out full spectrum slicing. So if you want to go through this at your own pace and learn more, I'll have a link to that down below. If you prefer moving pictures, you can check out YGK3D's video or one by Lost in Tech recently posted for some really nice, concise explainers on full spectrum slicing. Before we go any further though, I do want to say, as usual, this video is not sponsored. I am a member of the 3D printing and Snapmaker communities, but also a full-time physicist, which makes me a naturally curious person. I have been digging deep into seeing how far this thing can go since Redu's original slicer fork alongside the rest of the printing community, and boy oh boy, the space has heated up since. So it seems like just about every slicer for a tool changer is in the half-toning game now, one way or the other, so jump right in. Meanwhile, also back in May, Snapmaker themselves announced that they hired community developer Redu to integrate his branch into the official Snapmaker Orca. So if you have a U1, you can grab the Snapmaker Orca beta to play along at home, or tinker still with Redu's original community fork. So again, my blog post has a deep dive on all this that you can go through at your own pace to get started. In any case, you do want to have a tool changer for this. I have a Snapmaker U1, so before you get into some great big print, I suggest prints that look like these. So the few I'm showing here assume you have 4 extruders like I do. 2 are the speed palettes by yours truly. This 38 color print is the legendary PeggyPalette by jusdisgi. If you have more tools and want to aim for CMY black and white all together, I would recommend checking out this 5 filament model by Lemlurker on Printables instead. All the links for these will be down below. And again, why these? Okay, so because your mileage may vary. Your time and filament are worth it, and yet somehow you are still listening to me ramble. But first of all, the speed palette at its normal size here is meant to print quickly for the colors to find the colors that blend best before you commit to some great big print. So for example, this one prints in an hour or two, depending on your settings. The little baby one here with just 10 colors can print in about half that time. And if you just load one of these things into your slicer and pick out the primary colors of your filament, it lets you see it at a glance, kind of the approximate range of some extra colors you can easily reach just using the spools you've got, whatever those colors may be. I like to sometimes swap magenta for yellow, for example, so that's what's on this little 10 color palette, or magenta for get red in there instead, and you see you get these nice secondary colors pretty easily to make a little rainbow colored print. Or here, I spiced up the adorable baby dragon model by IK3D. You can find that in the Snapmaker Model Library and color it yourself if you like to. Do check out his other models in the links down below. He's got a whole collection of these dragons, and I've been printing his stuff for years. Ivan's a great designer, making really wild stuff that all prints without supports, and so for that, we thank you. Now, starting just with the 4 colors, this was an example palette that I kind of just made up, seeing the different kinds of shades of green I can get, mixing yellow and black, inspired by the community, as well as, and so that was how I did the belly here. And then likewise, looking at different shades of burgundy to give him sort of a pedicure there. And for his horns, different shades of orange that I used. And you can see this turns out really nice. However, it might be that if you just use stock filament, such as the really opaque ones you might find off the shelf, that things come out a little bit more stripy. And so this part is in the blog, but you can see here for yourself, like the horns, there's a little bit of stripes there. The chest honestly isn't too bad. Maybe it stands out a little bit more in our friend on the right. And then certainly his pedicure, you can see some more stripes there. And so the difference there you would definitely see on a test palette. When I print one of these, I will see now this is a really nice one, everything blended really well, but let's say I tried a different set of filaments. I can start off by looking from the sides, and from the sides, it looks like the walls blend pretty well for the most part. The blending is pretty well hidden, but as I turn this to the top, I would start to see that on sloped surfaces, very opaque filament or very thick layers will start to give you these zebra stripes. And so that's something you can check for your settings, check how well it turns out for your filament, get an idea about how high up on the curvature you can go before that starts to really become apparent, but without being surprised with it on a gigantic print that takes several hours. Using these same 2 sets of filaments, I had also shown this example, for which this one is the Chibi Panther Chameleon, courtesy of ReikiBox. This is another one that's in the Snapmaker Model Library, and another incredible designer. He's got a whole line of even more detailed models you can explore in their Linktree below. Now, these prints contain no green filament, but this CMY translucent set by Polymaker, you wouldn't be able to tell. So this is that same alternating cyan and yellow to make a whole green body out of nothing. And now if I instead used this more opaque set of CMY filaments, then I get this little guy. If I look really closely, and hopefully that shows up here on camera, but if I were to zoom way in, you can see I start to get this scaly appearance. I can actually start to see a little bit of those layer lines, just like I did on that gigantic test palette, which, to be honest, kind of works for our little lizard friend here. But again, seamless color blending with just the right choice of layer height and filament. Now last but certainly not least with this test print, it can also show you if your tool changer is out of whack. And what do I mean? If you look very closely, and let's see if I can get the camera to cooperate here, if we zoom way in and look right here at this peg, which is a mixture of the magenta and cyan, you can see it looks a little bit more magenta on this side, but then as I turn it, it starts to seem like it's a little bit more cyan. So what is that? That is nothing to fear. That just means that your tool changer is due for an XY offset calibration routine that should be available in the maintenance menu. So for me, that calibration holds up a few months at a time, but it first starts to be visible in full spectrum prints like this. So yeah, if you see your colors in the test are shifted one direction or the other, it's just time to run that calibration again. Now, there you have it. There is a lot to see in these little tests. When you make one yourself, first of all, you get a nice little real color swatch, since, you know, there's still a lot of interesting discussion on predicting the colors you get from this kind of color blending. But you print one of these out and you have a real world sample, granted, probably one that's a little bit smaller, to see what it will actually look like when you mix your filaments. You can also get a good look at the different colors you can make with that. So whether that looks like this or something like this, you get an idea of like how those colors will come together in the end. You can see from the sides what kind of blending you get on vertical walls, and from the tops, the dome lets you see the smooth surface for those shallow angles, and also if you are due for that XY offset calibration. Now, last but not least, for this basic form of full spectrum style color blending, thinner layers are better. And that gives you the best results. But if you come back next time, we are going to talk about a way around that to speed up full spectrum printing using a feature that's been hidden up FullSpectrum's fork that I know Redu is very proud of. So come back for that one. But until then, thank you for watching.